What is up? Welcome to Smoke and Vine. I am Carlos Bradley, and today we are going to reverse sear a tri-tip. Now, there are lots of methods of cooking a tri-tip, right? You can grill it, you can Santa Maria it, you could smoke it like a brisket. There's the reverse sear, and today we are going to reverse sear this bad boy. Now, before we get too far into the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit that plus button, subscribe, like. It would mean the world to me. You could also check me out on TikTok at Smoke and Vine, 230-ish thousand followers there. Would absolutely love your support. Now, a tri-tip is absolutely one of my favorite cuts of meat to cook. I grew up eating tri-tip all the time, and I think my absolute favorite method of cooking a tri-tip has got to be a reverse sear. So slow smoke, sear at the very end, and it's just every single time creates a perfect tri-tip. Now, there is a hack that I have seen around the interwebs recently, and today we're going to try it out and see if it yields a better tri-tip. So at the very end, when we are resting the tri-tip for about 10 minutes before we slice into it, we're actually going to wrap it in pink butcher paper, let it rest out. We're not going to put it in a cooler or anything like that. We're going to let it rest in this pink butcher paper for about 10 minutes before slicing. How are we cooking this tri-tip today? Well, we're going to lube it up. We're gonna season it. Then it's gonna go on the Traeger for probably about an hour. We're gonna do this very low and slow. So we're gonna be smoking this about 185. We're looking for an internal temperature of about 115. Once we hit 115, we're gonna throw this on our Weber grill. We're gonna sear the shit out of it and then let it rest. So let's get going. So with this trim, you actually don't have to do much. We are just going to be getting rid of these little pieces of fat and the hard fat that probably is not going to render out. There are some folks who will leave a bunch of this fat on. Personally, I want as much meat to be exposed to seasoning and to the smoke. Can do as little here or as much as you would like. I would like to clean this up as much as possible. Now, on the other side of this meat, the fat cap is still left on just a little bit. I'm going to remove this completely before we lube this up. This is looking fantastic, so now it's time to lube up and to season our meat. So for our binder today, we are going to use a little bit of truffle oil by Truff. Now, most of the time you cannot taste a binder, but for whatever reason with this oil, you do get some of that truffle flavor that shines through to the final cook. For our rub, Smoke Mafia by Rub City. If you know, you know. This is a delicious and unique all-purpose barbecue rub designed and crafted by yours truly. So make sure you get every square inch of this meat, pat the rub in a little bit, and then we are using MEATER to cook to temp today. I'm absolutely obsessed with my MEATER thermometer, and it helps to make every cook foolproof. Now, this tri-tip is going in a 180-degree Traeger. This is going to go on for about an hour, and we're looking for the tri-tip to reach about 115 degrees before we pull it. Once the internal temperature reaches 115, we're going to transfer this tri-tip to an insanely hot Weber grill, and that is where we're going to sear. We're just going to sear for a couple of minutes on each side. Now, after about a minute on a side, we're going to flip it over, rotate, and sear again. And we're going to repeat this process until we get an internal temperature of about 125. Now, we're not doing this for grill marks. Grill marks don't matter. We're just looking to sear as much of the surface as possible. This is why it is important to rotate your meat every time you move into a different position on the grill. Once we hit 125, we're going to take this out. We are going to wrap this in our butcher paper, and we're just going to let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. The temp is going to continue to rise. It's probably going to get to about 135 in the 10 minutes that it is resting. All right, while this tri-tip is resting, what are we going to drink with it? I gotcha. We are going to drink some Cabernet Sauvignon from Spring Mountain in Napa Valley. Now, Spring Mountain Vineyards is one of my favorite producers from Napa Valley. Like, those that know. If you can get your hands on some Spring Mountain Cabernet, some Spring Mountain Syrah, anything Spring Mountain, do it. It's unbelievably delicious. And it is going to pair incredibly well with this tri-tip. Let's have a taste. Ooh. This is going to be unbelievable. I think this is the perfect wine for this tri-tip tonight. Incredible fruit, very, very fresh. Even though it's a 2015, there's a little bit of age on it. You get some really incredible peppery notes and savory notes as well. A little bit of leather and smoke. The perfect wine for tonight. All right, our tri-tip has been resting for about 10 minutes, and now we are going to unwrap, see if this wrap had any effect on the goodness and deliciousness of the tri-tip, and slice. Wow, look at that. This, my friends, is going to be good. Most of you know this, but tri-tip runs a few different ways. The direction of the grain is running this way, and then also it is running this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice this in half. And let's see. That looks like a perfect medium. Wouldn't call that medium rare, but this is going to be good. So we're gonna turn this so we're cutting against the grain, and boom. Wow. Unbelievable. The smell on this tri-tip. Oh, I wish you could smell through the camera. All right, and now a taste test. Wow, delicious. Possibly one of the best tri-tips I've ever made. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a new go-to method. This hack was incredibly good.